Namaste. It's a little late today. 하래 그릇이는 마네들아. I think my face is trying to heal. My right side is completely damaged. If you look at the eye right here, like the left side, that's a normal, or yeah, that's a normal one, or it's still damaged, but it's not as bad as this one. This is like completely, this whole side is completely gone. I should have been dead. You know when somebody dies and like the person knows that the soul has dispatched from the body? That's what happened to me, partially. And usually people die from it, but that was not God's will. Shri Agni Namaha Namaste. Shri Krishna Namaha Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namaste. Thursday already, yeah. Okay. Okay, is that better or worse? That's okay. Now I got it. Sorry, people, bear with me. Okay, that's better. Ana Pekoak Getulat Yamineka Tatil Jerura Gabel Linat Ameka Sagubenu Taharenu Nora. Gislev. No. Oh wait, it's debit. I have to do it again. Sorry. Ana Pekoak Getulat Yamineka Tatil Jerura. Debit. Stickelgun Hanafish. Got the Hokuma. Bina. Bodily reactions. Fluids flowing. And this thing went out. I wonder what that means. light up. Shri Agni Namaha Namaste. Shri Krishna Namaha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaste. 카사드. 개불어. 카사드. 여러 돌리. 개불어. 뜻바라뜻. 딱 hold. Yes, hold. Mic check. I got a text. If you noticed, I'm playing the news in Japanese. Apparently, the bad people here, they're all Koreans. They don't like Japan. It's not. It's no wonder. They're bad people. They hate everything. Yeah, bad Koreans tend to hate Japan. I don't want to hate anything because hating itself produces a chemical substance in your body, which is not good for you, unless you want to look like a bulldog. Gabel, Linat, Ameka, Sakubenu, Taharenu, Nora, Na, Gibol, Toril Shei, Ihudeka, Gababat, Shomuram, Barekam, Taharam, Rakame, Jidekateka, Damit, Gomlam, Ka, Sin, Gatosh, Berov, Duveka, Nahel, Adateka. I'm being attacked by stupid people. They're all Koreans except one person, the Chinese guy here. There's like 6, 7 Koreans here and one Chinese guy. The Chinese guy is the best roommate here. Yeah, think about it. Among the 6, 7 Koreans, 3 of them are serious criminals, like rapists, murderers. If not one of those two, a really, really bad thief, like somebody who destroy someone else's household just to get a share, that kind of thing. Ooh, I forgot to show the angel, sorry. Okay, I'll hold this. You could pause it there and come back. And then I'll move on. Yakid ge le ameka bene zokrei gedu shateka shabatenu kabel wushima ja akatenu yode a ta alumot. Namaste. I have a theory on why Japan invaded Korea. Now I understand. When I was a little kid, I didn't understand. I was living in Korea until the age of 11 or 12. And like a lot of people in Korea back then, this is from 1978 until 1990. So from 78 to 90, I saw a lot of people that didn't like the Japanese, especially like the older people. I guess they remember the war. So and then I found that Japan is not such a bad country. And then I was wondering, why did they invade Korea? And now I understand why they did invade Korea. The moral qualities of the people in Korea were going like so bad that Japan couldn't live, with Korea being right next to them. They had to change their ways. There were, many murderers in Korea. There were many rapists in Korea. There were many thieves in Korea. So Japan invaded, because Japan could they could feel it. They could feel the darkness, bringing the whole nation down, bringing whole Korea down because of the bad deeds. There's nothing in this world that could make you, that could make things bad except bad actions and bad people. That's it. And I believe that Japan felt it. They felt like I'm living here in this building. And this is just an average household. There are 3 serious criminals here out of like 8 or 9 people who live here. 7, 8, or 9. I'm not sure how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe 10. So 3 of them, 9 people, or 9 or 10 people, 3 of them are serious criminals. That's 30%. And as far as I know, that's from studying religion and talking to a bunch of people online from the alphabet agencies and everything. From what I know, God wants to get rid of a third of the population because they're bad, and it's not just evil men that are bad. There are women, bad women attached to these evil men, and there are one. So these are evil men and evil women. Women do not usually become evil. They have to be attached to an evil man to become an evil woman. The man controls everything if the woman allows it. So you got a really bad person and a really just a woman, a bad woman probably, falling in love with this really bad person. And the woman becomes an evil woman. That's just the way it is, folks. There should be exceptions for sure, but usually, the definition of an evil woman is a weak-willed woman who attaches herself to an evil man. But the definition of an evil man, according to me, is murderers, rapists, and really bad thieves. There are thieves who steal for to survive for food. They want to steal money, but they just want to eat something. I think that passes by me because they need to eat. That's different. Like I can't. I'm not gonna tell anybody not to eat because they don't have money. Now, if he steals, if the poor thief steals at a 5-star restaurant, you know what? I'll allow it because they make a lot of money anyway, right? Anyway, but yeah, as far as stealing food goes for survival, that's okay by me. But stealing anything else, that's in the similar category as a murderer or a rapist. I'm saying it so they could hear it. So if I sound a little different, that's what I'm doing. Because I was surprised when I was playing the Japanese news radio. These people got upset. Think about it. Do you hear the radio right now? I'm playing it in. They're upset. Can you hear it? I'm not even playing it that loud. They're upset because I'm playing Japanese news. Think about it. I'm an American citizen. They're not. I think all of them are legal aliens. Okay. I've seen enough of the world. I'm gonna be 47 soon, I'm gonna be 47 in like 4 months. And I'm pretty much done analyzing the world. Just, if you don't like what I'm telling you, you haven't lived your life long enough yet. That's all I could say. And if you think that I've, taken the wrong way, and I didn't develop my, God was training me, and I didn't develop my skills necessary for God. I think I did, and I think that's enough. I think now it's time to get rid of really, really evil people. And once again, the definition that definition of an evil person is a murderer, a rapist, or a really bad thief, a thief who steals to destroy other people. But murderers first, and then rapists, and then thieves. Those are, once you get rid of these three people, you have heaven anywhere. You could have heaven in Pluto if you want. You get rid of the murderers, the rapists, and the really bad thieves. You got yourself heaven. Oh wait, sorry. And that's it. That's why race does not matter. Nationalities don't matter. Nothing really matters. Unless the whole nation is gonna disappear, then they're in trouble. But, yeah. What makes the world bad? Murderers, rapists, and really bad thieves. That's what makes the world bad. Period. And you don't need, once you get rid of murderers and rapists and really bad thieves, you don't need to believe in anything. You don't need to believe in God. You don't need to believe in anything at all. Just humans started believing in God because they needed help from these murderers, rapists, and really, really bad thieves. They were shouting at God for help from these murderers, rapists, and thieves. That's the foundation of any religion. A religion came about because humans needed God's help. Why? Because there were murderers, there were rapists, and really, really bad thieves. That's why. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm out of my medicine, so. So in essence, like you go to a really, really bad country, and then get rid of all the murderers, all the rapists, and all the serious thieves that will destroy, other people for fun. And then you guys yourself the first nation in the whole world, because no other nation is free of murderers, rapists, and really bad thieves. Every single nation, every single race, every single, even towns, they have serious criminals, murderers, rapists, and really bad thieves. And that's it. You don't need to believe in a religion. You don't need to. King Yang Wushan himself said, by your actions, by your fruits mean action. Your actions speak louder than what you tell people that you believe. Oh, I believe in Jesus. Yeah, sounds like you're believing in a demon. If you say that you believe in Jesus and then go and try to kill someone or molest a disabled old lady or something, then Like, what does it matter that you are a Christian? What does it matter? What does it matter? Nothing. It doesn't matter at that point if you believe in Jesus or not. And granted, you would not be able to. 99% of people will not be able to believe in Jesus if they, if they're murderers, rapists, and really, really, really bad thieves. I mean, thieves I have some sympathy for because they're savvy enough not to physically mess with another human being. They're doing this intellectually. They're more of a sociopath than a psychopath. We're talking psychopaths here. We're talking murderers and rapists. That's like 90% of the whole. How to make the world better. You want to make the world better? Get rid of every single murderer. Get rid of every single rapist. You gotta, then you gotta, you got the first nation in the world. Namaste. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so I'm gonna Hare Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. 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 Hare Hare. The letters look rough. Look like somebody from the 11th century wrote it. The letters of Devanagari became deteriorated after the war in Kurukshetra. Okay. I apologize for my attitude. It just... I don't like evil... I don't mind evil people. Like, I don't care that much. But if they're messing with me, I do fucking care. I'm sorry. I do really care. If they're messing with me, I do care. I really do care. I'll make sure that they go to hell. I'll make sure 100% that they go to hell for messing with me. Why? Because I'm like trying to heal myself from a fatal injury. I should have died in 2019. I'm trying to make myself alive again, and these stupid monkeys or cockroaches, oh, we're bad people, They're all Koreans, by the way. I'm Korean. Since no nation is free from murderers, rapists, you won't have anything good here on the earth. The only thing good here are cats. Some people might want to know, like, why are there so many bad things in the world? How am I able to believe in God after all the bad things happen to me or whatever? Let's just say that I'm beginning to understand who their maker is. So you have a maker who was the protector before. The protector becomes the maker. So it's the same person. They're just separated by two different timelines. They're 42 trillion years apart. So in 42 trillion years, the protector will do the exact same thing that the creator does. The creator, has deteriorated from his perfect condition. When when the creator was a protector, the protector was perfect. Cause that's he protects the world. He was perfect. The protector created the creator, and the creator in turn created the whole world and me and everything else. And the thing about the creator is since he was perfect in the previous timeline 42 trillion years ago, now it's 18 trillion years ago, because we still have 24 trillion years to go before the 42 trillion time cycle ends, and then we go back to the beginning, etc. So he the creator was perfect before the creation of this world. And then 18 trillion years ago, he, went down a little bit and then created the world. And since he's not perfect, he's going to create things that are not perfect. Because I can't say that, like, because some evil people, whom this creator has made, they go do horrible things that I cannot comprehend. So anyway, and especially now, so many, all the bad elements are like mingled up. They're like scrunched up all together. It's like, the karma that does not happen because there's so many complications within that karma, that kind of thing. It's like, hard to explain it, but this is about karma. This is really about karma. Okay. Chapter 5 in Garuda Purana, 57. I slept a little bit better than the day before. The day before I slept 45 minutes. Yeah. So I slept 5 hours last night. Yeah, so I took a 10-minute break, or 10-minute longer than it should have. Okay, so Garuda Purana, chapter 5. So chapter 1 through 6 is the punishment. After chapter 6, there are things for encouragement for good people. Atan Panchamotyāyaha Namasutta Garuda Ubancha Yena Cha Papena Yadyachichihunam Prajayate Yam Yoni Cha Kachichananti Taname Kataya Keshava Shri Bhagavan Ubancha Yaiha Pa Pairiyananti Yam Yonim Pa Pino Naraka Kataha Yena Pa Pena Yachichihunam Jayate Mama Tachichurunu Brahmaha Goshayarogi Siad Goknaha Siad Kubujako Jadaha Kanya Kati Pavet Kushatui Tarayashitananda Layonishu Sutri Kati Kaipapati Ja Bulinando Rogapan Pavet Agamia Gamana the Shonen for Tushijai Guru Tali Bagahu Mam Sapokutan Tirakutan Gangahu Shia Batanan Tasutu Madiapahu Apakushuyo Pakushako Laulia de Brahamuna Laulia de Brahmanahu Siana Mahodarahu Adatavan Vishita Mashinati San Pavedagala Kanandavana Shirada Tenanamashuchi Tatavan Chitra Koshatui Prajayate Gurul Gaiveno Bana Gurul Gaiveno Bana Gurul Gaiveno Bamana Gurul Gaiveno Bamana Gurul Gaiveno Bamana. So whenever I get muttering, whenever I'm struggling, that means I got attacked. Gurul Gaiveno Bamana Dapasu Gurul Gaiveno Bamana Tapasma Gurul Gaiveno Bamana Tapasmari Pavena Narahu 니는 닫고 베다샤스드라놈 바는 두로기 파베드 투루바무 꾸떠상 꾸슈이 파베드 무카흐 까너흐 시아드 빰끄띠 시아드 빰끄띠 페다카흐 아노셰터흐 시아드 비장 시아드 비방 하크노 자는마는 타흐 보스타감 하레트 고브라흐마노 바다 카다드 칸자흐 밤고시짱 장야트 가드가도 느르타방디 시아드 따체 추로땅 시아드 따체 추로땅 바티로 파베트 가라다흐 시아즈 자호 시아즈 자도는 마드 시아즈 자도는 마드다흐 카르방 또그니 브라당 약가흐 눌파가흐 발리비크레땅 로가바는 바라맘 사포크 히나장땅 바라장야땀 라트나나 마빠하라카흐 꾸나키 스발너 할땅 시아드 트라투마 트라로 타나흐 시아드 트라투마 트라로 타나흐 시아드 트라투마 트라하로 타라흐 시아드 타투마 트라하로 타나흐 시아드 트라투마 트라로 타나흐 아는나 할땅 파베다 쿠흐 샬라포 안 타니아하라카흐 장따고 잘라 할땅 시아드 비쇼 할땅 자브르 쉐찌카흐 샹감 바트람 시키 후르뜨방 가는 탐시 추는 날이 추는 날이 슈파냐 마투 담샤흐 발람 그르투로 라바넘짱 삐삐리깡 담문부 라팔라포시빵 디할땅 시아드 바나로 바네 우빠나 뜨르너 깔빵 할 우빠나 뜨르너 깔빵 사할땅 시아는 메셔 요니슈 야채짱 라우드로 빠지비 짱 말게 살타는 빌로문 빠띠 무르가야 비아사니 야스투 차가흐 시아드 바티카 그르헤 요 무르토 위셔빵네나 꾸르슈노 살빵우 파베드 기라우 이람 꾸샤바 파바흐 시아드 꿈자로 밀자네 바네 바이시바 베다 바이시바 데바마 바이시바 데바마 깔따라흐 살바 파크슈 시짱 예트 비장흐 아빠리 구슈이 따 포크따로 위아크라흐 시울닐자네 바네 가야트림 나마레디아스투 스마레디아스투. So yeah, whenever I'm mispronouncing it, whenever I'm doing something wrong, that means I'm being attacked. 가야트림 나 스마레디아스투 요나 삼티아 무빠사테 아는 딸두슈토 바히흐 상아투흐 사파베드 브라흐마노 바카흐 아양자코 비프라흐 사파베드 그라마수 까라흐 카로 바이 바후야 지트바트 까고 늘마는 드라 포자나트 Vantere Vidya Madatan Cha Bali Baldo Paved Bijahe Guru Seva Makaltan Cha Shuhuyehe Siad Gokarahe Pashuhe Gurum Humukurtiam Tumukurtiam Pipuram Niljitia Vadatahe Aranuye Niljale Deshe Jayate Brahmara Kushasahe Mitra Shurtam Devije Tanamatatvan Jamumboko Pavet Satama Satkan Rakarahe Patkan Rogani Muko Pavet Mitra Turugu Girit Kurud Mitra Turugu Giri Kurud Mitra Turugu Giri Kurud Mitra Turugu Giri Kurud Trahe Siadu Lukahe Graya Panjanat Palnoma Shrama Pari Vada Capoto Jayate Bane Shachi Chedakaro Yasutu Snehatsu Chedakara Yahu Yo Deversho Tesutri Paritiangi Chakrapa Kashichiram Pavet Mater Peter Guruduba Shui Pagini Prater Baira Kurut Galpe Yonel Inashitahe Siadian Badio Nisahasrashahe Shivashurulgan Lipradan Nari Nityam Kalahakari Nui San Jalaukan Jan Yukan Siad Paltaram Paltasate Jan Yan Shivapatim Jan Paritian Jan Parapumsanu Paltini Parulguli Gurhagotan Siad Devimuki Vata Salpinui Yahe Sebagotro Pakati Jan Sebagotro Setri Nishwabanot Tarakusho Sharalako Putvan Bokosho Yonishu Jayate Tamasi Kamanat Kami Pavanamaru Pisha Chakahe Apura Putayavana Sanganga de Prabeda Jagaro Apura Putayavana Sanganga de Prabeda Jagaro Apura Putayavana Sanganga de Prabeda Jagaro Pane Gurudara Pila Shui Ja Gurukala So Pavena Narahe Ranjinim Gatvan Pavedu Dushurdo Mitra Patinim Ja Galdapahe Gudago Bidbarahahe Siad Burushahe Shasiad Burushali Patihe Mahagami Pavediasutu Siadashijan Kama Laman Patahe Murutasyan Ikan Dashaham Tu Punjanahe Shiva Pijayate La Pevedalako Pipuro Yonim Kukubutra Samjinyakama Kukukutta Samjinyakama Terabian Tam Devatan Pujan Yahe Karoti Devijan Tamahe Devijan Tamahe Sa Bai Devalako Nama Habiaka Vieshu Kalhitahe Mahapatakajanan Koranan Narakanan Prapya Tarunan Kaimakushoye Prajayanante Mahapatakinasdu Viha Mahapatakinasdu Viha Karoshatara Mahishwinam Hi Brahmaha Yonimurata Chati Prakashivana Shirgalanam Prakashivana Shirgalanam Surapan Yananti Yonishu Kurumiki Tapatagan Katavam Savanasateyi Sama Punuyat Turuna Guru Malatan Turuna Guru Malal Turuna Guru Malal Turuna Guru Malatat Mancha Turuna Guru Malatat Pancha Gramasho Guru Talibagahu Parasian Yoshuitam Hurtuvan Nyasa Pahare Nyasa Pahara Nena Nyasa Pahara Nuena Cha Brahmasvahara no Chichangivan Chan Yate Brahmara Kushosahu Brahmasvam Pranoyad Pukutam Tahatya Sapatamam Kulam Palatakareno Jaurieno Tahatya Chanandra Tarakam Tahatya Chanandra Tarakam Lohanchul no Shimachul Nue Cha Bishom Cha Jarayan Narahu Brahmasvam Terishu Lokeshu Kahu Pumanjari Shati Brahmasvara Sapushitani Pahanani Palani Cha Yutitakale Vishirianante Saikatahu Setavo Yatan Devadana Vyopa Pogena Brahmasvahara Nuena Cha Kulania Kulatan Yananti Brahmano Tikrameno Cha Sivama Shiritam Parityajian Vedashan Satarapara Yanam Anyepyo Diyate Danam Katyateya Matikramahu Brahmano Tikramo Nasati Pipure Veda Vibhajite Jivalam Tamaguni Mutu Surujya Nahi Pasmani Huyate Atikrame Kurute Tai Kushuya Pukutuvai Cha Narakan Gramat Janamanan Tahu Sanandaridrahu Sianana Tan Kimtu Yachakahu Sivadatatam Paradatatam Ban Yurachachan Pasunantaram Shashutui by Shasha Sahasranui Shashutui by Shasha Sahasranui Vishutu Yam Jayate Gurumihu Sivayame Chan Yo Tatatuvan Sivayame Pakashati San Pampi Narakam Yanti Yavada Puta Samplavam Tatatuvan Purutatim Pumidanam Yatanatahu Paripala Yat Na Rakushati Harediasatu Saipaku Hoshiva Pijan Yate Pipurasian Purutati Karanue Lakashatenu Palam Pavet Pipurasian Purutati Harano Namakatohu Shiva Kapil Pavet Evamadini
Jihunani Yoni Yashijan Kageshibara Svakalma Vihitan Loke Durushianan Tatra Sharirinam Evam Tushikalma Kaltaro Pukutavan Nirayaya Tanam Jayanante Papa Sheshweno Brokatan Sibatan Su Yonishu Tato Janmasahasreshu Brampia Diriak Sharitam Tuhakani Parabaheno de Pavadini Parabahano de Pavai Parabahano de Pavadini Parabahano de Pavadini La Panante de Pakushui Duhakam Tato Pukutavan Burashutuishi Dan Tapo de Pavama Manusham La Pate Vashichan de Sami Pute Shupan Shupe Satari Pumsosutu Parasamgena Putavan Galpe Grama Dasao Galpa di Maranon Damja Brampia Tuhakam Buriyat Punahu Samut Patatil Niban Samut Patatil Vina Shashit Samut Patatil Vina Shashichan Jayate Salvate Hinam Evam Prapatitam Chakram Putagrame Chatulvite Katui Yanantram Yatan Maltian Pramananti Mama Mayayan Pumel Kadachin Narake Kalmapa Shasama Boratan Atatana Chechan Paved Daridro Daridra Paba Chechan Karoti Pam Papa Praphaban Narakam Prayati Punal Daridrahu Punareva Papi Avashyameva Pokutaviam Kurutam Kalma Shupam Na Pokutam Kushuyate Kalma Kalepa Kotui Shatairapi Iti Shri Rudra Puranue Sarodatare Papa Chihana Nirupanam Nama Panchamotiayahu.
It's a little rough, but only took 20 minutes. So it wasn't too bad. It's not as bad as I think. It's something I have to realize about myself. Okay, now the translation. So I could take a break. Okay. Chapter 5. On account of the signs of sins. Garuda said, "Tell me, O Keshava, by what sins particular signs are produced, and to what sorts of birth such sins lead?" The Blessed Lord said, "The sins on account of which the sinful returning from hell come to particular births, and the signs produced by particular sins, these hear from me. The murderer of a Brahman becomes consumptive. The killer of a cow becomes humpbacked, an imbecile. The murderer of a virgin becomes leprous, all three born as outcasts. The slayer of a woman and the destroyer of embryos becomes a savage full of diseases, who commits illicit intercourse, a eunuch, who goes with his teacher's wife, disease-skinned. The eater of flesh becomes very red, the drinker of intoxicants, one with discolored teeth. The Brahman who, on account of greed, eats what should not be eaten becomes big-bellied. He who eats sweet foods without giving to others becomes swollen-necked. Who gives impure food at a Shraddha ceremony is born a spotted leopard. The man who, through pride, insults his teacher becomes an epileptic. Who despises the Vedas and the Shasutras certainly becomes jaundiced. Who bears false witness becomes dumb. Who breaks the meal roll becomes one-eyed. Who interferes with marriage becomes lipless. Who steals a book is born blind. Who strikes a cow or a Brahman with his foot is born lame and deformed. Who speaks lies becomes a stammerer, and who listens to them becomes deaf.
A poisoner becomes insane, an incendiary becomes bald, who sells fish becomes unlucky, who eats flesh of other beings becomes diseased. Who steals jewels is born in a low caste, who steals gold gets diseased nails, who steals any metal becomes poverty-stricken. Who steals food becomes a rat, who steals grain becomes a locust, who steals water becomes a taka bird, and who steals poison a scorpion. Who steals vegetables and leaves becomes a peacock, perfumes a muskrat, honey a gadfly, flesh a vulture, and salt an ant. Who steals beetle, fruits, and flowers becomes a forest monkey. Who steals shoes, grass, and cotton are born from sheep's wombs. Who lives by violence, who robs caravans on the road, and who is fond of hunting, certainly becomes a goat in a butcher's house. Who dies by drinking poison becomes a black serpent on a mountain, whose nature is unrestrained becomes an elephant in a desolate forest. Those twice born who do not make offering to the world deities who eat all foods without consideration become tigers in a desolate forest. The Brahmin who does not recite the Gayatri, who does not meditate at twilight, who is immorally wicked while outwardly pious becomes a crane. The Brahmin who officiates for one unfit to perform sacrifice becomes a village hog, and by too many sacrifices he becomes an ass. By eating without grace, a crow. The twice-born who does not impart learning to the deserving becomes a bull. The pupil who does not serve his teacher becomes an animal, an ass or a cow. Who threatens and spits at his teacher or browbeats a Brahman is born as a Brahmin fiend in a waterless wilderness. Who does not give to a twice-born according to his promise becomes a jackal. Who is not hospitable to the good becomes a howling fireface. Who deceives a friend becomes a mountain vulture. Who cheats in selling an owl. Who speaks ill of caste and order is born a pigeon in a wood. Who destroys hopes and who destroys affection, who through dislike abandons his wife, becomes a ruddy goose for a long time. Who hates mother, father, and teacher, who quarrels with sister and brother, is destroyed when an embryo in the womb, even for 1,000 birds. The woman who abuses her mother-in-law and father-in-law and causes constant quarrels becomes a leech, and she who scolds her husband becomes a louse. Who, abandoning her own husband, runs after another man becomes a flying fox, a house lizard, or a kind of female serpent. He who cuts off his lineage by embracing a woman of his own family, having become a hyena and a porcupine, is born from the womb of a bear. The lustful man who goes with the female ascetic becomes a desert fiend. Who consorts with an immature girl becomes a huge snake in a wood. Who covets his teacher's wife becomes a chameleon. Who goes with the king's wife becomes corrupt, and with his friend's wife a donkey. Who commits unnatural vice becomes a village pig. Who consorts with the Shudra woman becomes a bull. Who is passionate becomes a lustful horse. Who feeds upon the 11th day offerings to the dead is born a dog. The Devalaka is born from the womb of a hen. The wretch among twice-born who worships the deities for the sake of wealth is called a Devalaka, and is unfit to offer sacrifices, offer oblations to the deities and forefathers. Those who are very sinful, having passed through dreadful hells produced by their great sins, are born here upon the exhaustion of their karma. The murderer of a Brahman goes into the womb of an ass, a camel, and a she-buffalo. A drinker of intoxicants enters the wombs of a wolf, a dog, and a jackal. The stealer of gold attains the condition of a worm, an insect, and a bird. Who goes with his teacher's wife goes to the condition of grass, bushes, and plants. Who steals another's wife, who misappropriates deposits, who robs a Brahmin, is born as a Brahmin fiend. The Brahmin's possessions acquired by deception, enjoyed even in friendship, afflict a family, even for 7 generations, and by forcible robbery, even as long as the moon and stars exist. A man may digest even iron filings, powdered to stone, and poison, but where is the person in the 3 worlds who can digest a Brahmin's wealth? Chariots and troops supported by the wealth of a Brahmin crumble away in battle like artificial riverbanks of sand. By appropriating temple property, by taking a Brahmin's possessions, and by neglecting Brahmins, families become broken up. He is called a neglector, who, instead of making a gift to one who is well read in the Vedas and Shastras and has resorted to him, gives it to some other. But it is no neglect if the Brahmin is without Veda knowledge. It would be like offering to ashes instead to the blazing fire nearby. Having neglected Otargushu, And having experienced the results in the successive house, he is born blind and in poverty, becoming not a giver but a beggar. Who takes away a plot of land which has given by himself to or another is born for 60,000 years as a worm in excrement. The sinner who takes back by force what has been given by himself goes into hell until the coming of the deluge. Having given the means of subsistence and a piece of land, he should then protect it firmly. Who does not protect but robs is born as a lame dog. Who gives the means of support to Brahmins obtains fruit equal to that of a lac of cows. Who robs Brahmins of their means of support becomes an ape, a dog, and a donkey. These and other signs and birds, O Lord of birds, are seen to be the kaima of the embodied, made by themselves in this world. Thus, the makers of bad kaima, having experienced the tortures of hell, are born with the residues of their sins in these stated forms. Then, obtaining for thousands of lives the bodies of animals, they suffer from carrying burdens and other miseries. Having experienced as a bird the misery of cold, rain, and heat, he afterwards reaches the human state, when the good and evil are balanced. Man and woman having come together, he becomes an embryo in due course. Having suffered the miseries from conception onwards to death, he again dies. Birth and death are the lot of all embodied beings, thus turns the wheel in the four kingdoms of beings. As the wheel of time turns, so mortals revolve by my magic. They revolve at one time on earth, at another in hell, held fast by the noose of kaima. He who does not make gifts becomes poverty-stricken, and through poverty he commits sin. By the force of sin he goes to hell, and is again born in poverty, and again becomes sinful. Kaima, which has been made, whether good or evil, must inevitably be suffered. Kaima, not suffered, does not fade away, even in tens of millions of ages. Okay. Take a little break. So I'm playing like things in the background. It's helping me. I'd rather be in like a coffee shop and do this, where people talk in coffee shops. I can't do this in the library. But yeah, I could do this in the cup. So I created an environment for myself, which mimics kind of like a coffee shop, playing Japanese news in Japanese background, and I'm playing Fox News radio in my foreground. My Amazon Echo plays the Fox News. My other laptop plays Japanese news. My other laptop is like 8 years old, almost 7, 8 years old. Okay, Bhagavata next. Still tired. I slept 5 hours last night, but the day before I slept 45 minutes. I don't think my body's caught up yet, but I guess I'll catch up tonight, hopefully. And playing the Japanese news for the really bad Koreans who harass me while I'm doing this all the healing stuff. I'm realizing that they don't want to hear Japanese. Like, that's crazy. Like, these are not South Korean people. These are North Korean people. Even if they tell me they're from South Korea, to me they are North Koreans. But do I know any North Koreans? Huh? But yeah, they're not. I never met South Koreans such as these. They must be from North Korea. That's what I'm thinking. Because when I started playing the Japanese news, they didn't like it. I mean, can you hear it right now? Can you hear the news right now? That's how loud it is. Not loud at all. They don't like it. They don't want to hear another language. Think about that. Like, you're a human being. You can't stand another language because you're a murderer or a rapist or a really, really bad thief. Yeah, you can't listen to another language because they can't listen to another language because they've committed horrible, horrible crimes, and they're not fit to be humans anymore. It's like their soul's telling them, I can't hear this. I can't hear human language. stepson done so many bad things. I don't even know what they've done, but they're harassing me while I'm doing this every single day. There hasn't been one day when they haven't left me alone. There's one individual for sure, and then there's another one who just moved in. He's gotta be a rapist, I think, but we'll see. Namaste. Kangen kato na kangen kato to sati na kangen katahe. Devant biti pulushwi iti nya dershota alipasata 아들으셨다는 하는 띠야 야띠야토 하는 띠 빠라 야띠 아토 아바크나띠 하는 띠야토 빠니슈뚜이 빔셔띠 샤라사흐 구샤라소 달파사흐 사오리야 우따 마운장 아들으셨다 바이리너흐 살베 상감 냐리프시tat 냐리프사타 나 가보 고시투에 아사다는니 무르가소 아비크셨다 니 깼다보 자나남 냐드르셔드 알리프사타 에따 우띠에 브라티아드르시라는 브라도섬 브라티아드르시라는 브라도섬 다스카라 이바 아드르셔드 비시바드르셔드 브라티부드텅알 아푸타나 디알바흐 비땅알 버티비 머땅알 소모 프라다디티흐 스바성알 아드르셔드 비시바드르셔드 스티시트 비시바드르셔드 스티시털라야타 텔라야타 비시바드르셔드 스티시트 비시바드르셔드 스티시털 텔라야타 비시바드르셔드 스티시터 텔라야타 수감 예 암시앙 예 앙응기아흐 수지강 예 브라강응카타흐 아드르셔트흐 김 짜네하 파흐 살베 상감 니 자시아타 우트푸라스타트 수리아 에티 비시바드르셔토 아드르셔토하 아드르셔떠는 살방한 잠은 파야는 살바시장 아드르셔떠는 살방한 잠은 파야트 살 아드르셔떠는 살방한 잠은 파야 아드르셔떠는 살방한 잠은 파야트 잠은 파야는 This is what happens when I get interrupted. 아드르셔떠는 살방한 잠은 파야는 살바시장 아드르셔떠는 살방한 잠은 파야는 아드르셔떠는 살방한 잠은 파야는 살바시장 아드르셔떠는 살방한 잠은 파야는 살바시장 야투타니아흐 우다파프타다사오 수리아흐 부루 비슈방아니 줄바느 아디티아흐 바이바테피오 비시바드르셔토 아드르셔토 항알 수리엔 비쇼말 사장미 드르팀 수라바토 그루헷 소찌는누 나 마라티 노 바얌 마라마레 아시아 요자남 하리셔트 마투 드봉알 마툴랄 짝가라 이야트티깡알 샤쿠는티깡알 사깡알 짝강아사테 비셔무 소찌는누 나 마라티 노 바얌 마라마레 아시아 요자남 하리시트 마투 드바이 마툴라이 짜까라 드리흐 사부타 베슈폴링은 가까이 비셔시양 보시야 마코셔는 비슈폴링은 가 비슈폴링은 가까이 비셔시양 보슈야 마코셔는 당시찌는 누나 말하는 띠노 바얌 마라마레 아시아 요자남 하리시트 마투 드바이 마툴라이 짜까라 나방남 나바티남 비셔시아 고푸슈이남 로푸슈이남 살바사마그라팜 나마레 아시아 요자남 하리시트 마투 드바이 마툴라이 짜까라 드리흐 사부타 마유리아흐 사부타 스바사로 아그라투흐 아구루바흐 sorry 땅스테 비샴비 야프리라 우다감 꾸문피니리바 이아트 타카흐 고슈문 파카스 타감 피나드 미야시마노에 타토 비샴 브라 바보르테 바라지라누 삼바타흐 고슈문 파카스 타다 브라비드 기레흐 고슈문 파카스 타다 브라비드 기레흐 브라발타마 나카흐 브르시치카시안라삼 비셔마라삼 브르시치카테 비셔마. Wow, that was the end. Venomous, slightly venomous, or venomous aquatic worm. Both creatures singing unobserved with poison have impacted me. Coming, it kills the unobserved. It kills them as it goes away. It kills them as it drives them off, and bruising bruises them to death. Saragras, Dalpa, Kushora, and Sairia, Munja, Birano, where all these creatures dwell unseen with poison have impacted me. The cows had settled in their stalls. The beasts of prey had sought their lairs. Extinguished were the lights of men when things unseen impacted me. Where these reptiles are observed like lurking thieves at evening time. Seers of all, themselves unseen, be therefore very vigilant. Heaven is your sire, your mother earth, Soma your brother, Aditi, your sister, seeing all, unseen, keep still and dwell ye happily. Biters of shoulder or of limb, with needle stings most venomous, unseen whatever ye may be, vanish together and be gone. Slayer of things unseen, the sun, beheld of all, mounts eastward up, consuming all that are not seen, and evil spirits of the night. There hath the sun god mounted up, who scorches much and everything, even the Aditya from the hills, all seen, destroying things unseen. I hang the poison in the sun, a wineskin in a vintner's house. He will not die, nor shall he die, his path is far. He whom bay horses bear hath turned thee to sweet meat. This little bird, so very small, hath swallowed all thy poison up. She will not die, nor shall we die, his path is far. He whom bay horses bear hath turned thee to sweet meat. The 3 times 7 bright sparks of fire have swallowed up the poison's strength. They will not die, nor shall we die. His path is far. He whom bay horses bear hath turned thee to sweet meat. Of 90 rivers, and of 90 with power to stay the venom's course. The names of all I have secured. His path is far. He whom bay horses bear hath turned thee to sweet meat. So have the peahens 3 times 7, so have the maiden sister 7. Carry thy venom far away as girls bear water in their jars. The poison insect is so small, I crushed the creature with a stone. I turned the poison hence away, departed unto distant lands. Forth issuing from the mountainside, the poison insect spake and said, the scorpion's venom hath no strength. Scorpion, thy venom is but weak. Wow, that's powerful. Okay, so that was the end of book 1. Oh, so sorry, I forgot to change this. That's the end of book 1. I just finished chapter 191. Sorry about this. Now I'm gonna find book 2. Mandala 2. No accent, Devanagari. Alright, so starting tomorrow, that's book 2. I'm gonna just mark it today. I don't usually do this. I do it the next day. But yeah, a new book. This also means I'm gonna gain some power tonight because I finished the book. Sanskrit texts are gracious enough. Whenever you finish something, it gives you something back. Even if you didn't read it perfectly, it'll give you according to your ability. If you did it perfectly, you may even become an angel. But yeah, this is good. All right, I'm taking another break. Sorry about today. I'm out of my medicine, and these people are messing with me more than ever because I think they're sensing something. Something's different. So they wanna bring me down while I'm down. They wanna do away with me while I'm down, basically. Okay, taking a break. All right, next up is Yoga Sutras. Mic test. That's good. Alright, so now it's Yoga Sutras, Book 3, Sutra 14. Namaste. Tatra Shanan Todita Vyapadeshya Talmanupati Talmi Yogyata Vachachinana Talminoh Shakadireva Talmah Sa Palaprasava Pedanumita. Number 1. Da Sadhupava Palaprasava Pedanumita de Pava Mita Sadhupava Palaprasava Pedanumita Palaprasava Pedanumita Sava Palaprasava Pedanu. Did you hear that? This is how the demons are acting. This is, how crazy these monkeys are. Yeah, I'm angry, so I call them monkeys because I'm angry. Some things you can't control it, and it's not really up to you. Palaprasava pedanumita de pava. Palaprasava pedanumita. Palapra. Maybe I should get out and. Okay. Palaprasava pedanumita de Palaprasava pedanumita sabatad pava Palaprasava pedanumita sad Palaprasava pedanumita sad pava. Ekasiani oniashi jump. Well, the demon did his job. I'm stumbling. Niasiani jump. Ekasiani oniashia. Ekasiani oniasiani jump. Ekasianioniashi Ekasianioniasianiashita.
Yeah, the demon did a good job. Oh, we covered though in time.
Pareturshataha Tatra Paitamanaha Svabhya Paranumap Svabhya Paramanu Pavanan Tal Svabhya Paramanu Pavanan Talmi Talmanan Tare Piaha Shanante Piashichan Vyapadeshia Piashichan Pidiate Yadan Tu Samaniena Samanan Bagato Pavati Tadan Talmisvaru Pamatrat Vat Kosao Kena Pidiata Tatra
Number 1. Trayahu.
Trayahu Te Trayahu
2 different ones.
Ye Kalu Talmino Talmahu Shanantan Uditan Avya Padeshya Shichati Tatra Shanantan Ye Kurtuvan Vyapara Nuparatahu Savyapara Uditasete Janagatasya Lakushonasya Samanantara Paltamanasya Nanantara Atitahu Kimaltamati Tasya Nanantara Na Pavananti Paltamanahu Pulva Pashachi Mataya Apavat
Sorry.
Yatana Gata Baltamana Yohu Pulva Pashachi Mataya Naivamati Tasya Tasmananati Tasya Sati Samanantarahu Tadanagata Eva Samanantaro Pavati Paltamanasyati Atavya Padeshyahu Ke Salvat Makamiti Yatrokatamu Jala Pumiohu Parinomikam Rasadi Vaishvarupiam Sthavareshu Durashatam Tatoa Sthavaranam Jangameshu Jangamanam Sthavareshivi Dievam Jatyanuja Chedana Salvat Makamiti Deshakala Kara Nimitata Pavanant Tanana Deshakala Kara Nimitata Pavan Deshakala Kara Nimitata Pavanantanana Kalu Samanakala Matmanama Pivyakutiriti Samanakala Matmanama Pivyakutiriti Okay. Ye eteshiva Pivyakutana Pivyakuteshu Eteshiva Pivyakutana Pivyakuteshu Taimeshiva Nupati Samanya Vishashvotama Sonumbayi Taimi Yasyan Tu Taimamatra Mevedam Niranan Bayam Tasya Pogan Pavaha Kasmat Aniena Vijnanena Gurutasya Kaimanoniat Katam Pokuturtuvana Tikriyata Pokuturtuvana Tikriyata Tata Sumurutiya Pavashicha Nanya Durushatasya Smaranomanyasya Sutiti Pasutu Pratia Pichinyana Chicha Sititonan Bayi Taimi Yo Talmania Tatavama Piupagatahu Pratia Pichinyayate Tasamanan Nedam Talmamatram Niranan Bayamiti So whenever I get disrupted, that means somebody's like stupid. I gotta kill these people. Oy. Among these, a substance conforms itself to quiescent and uprisen and indeterminable external aspects. An external aspect is only a power of the substance as limited by its pre-established harmony, and it is known as an actual existence, of which the existence is inferred by the kind of effect which it generates, as one or another of the single. Of these, that is called present, if it be that the external aspect is passing through of its peculiar functional activity. This is different from the other external aspects, both the quiescent and the indeterminable. But when it has rejoined its general form, then how could that external aspect be distinguished from any other, since it is then of the very nature of the substance itself? There are, as everyone knows, three of these external aspects within the substance: the quiescent and the uprisen and the indeterminable. Okay, where was I? Indeterminable. Okay. But when it has rejoined its general form, then how could that external aspect be distinguished from any other, since it is then of the very nature of the substance itself? There are, as everyone knows, three of these external aspects within the substance: the quiescent and the uprisen and the indeterminable. Of these, the quiescent are those that have come to rest by finishing their functional activity. Okay. The uprisen are those in active function, and these are immediately contiguous to the future time variation. While the past come after the present. Why do not the present come after the past? Because there is no relation of antecedent and consequent. The relation of antecedent and consequent in the case of the future and the present is not the same as that in the case of the past. Therefore, there is immediately contiguous to the past. Consequently, the future only is immediately contiguous to the present. Now, the indeterminable, what are they? Everything containing the essence of everything, upon which it has been said, that which in the various forms of taste and others contain the mutations of water and of earth is found in plants. Likewise, in plants is found in animals, and of animals in plants. In this sense, insofar as the common nature is not destroyed, we use the term everything contains the essence of everything. Still, because of connection with place and time and form and cause, the external aspects do not of course manifest themselves at the same time. That which passes through a succession of these external aspects, whether manifested or unmanifested, and which has as its essence the generic form and the particular, and which is present in all but different from them, that is the substance. But him who holds that this world is nothing but external aspects without present in all but different from them, for him there will be no experience. Why would this be so? How could one consciousness of a subject of experience be held responsible for a deed done by another consciousness? And there would also be no memory of this, for there is no such thing as recollection by one consciousness of something seen by another. And it is the substance permanently present in all but different from them, which, upon the recognition of a thing, is recognized as participating in the alteration of the external aspect. Consequently, it is not true that it is nothing more than external aspects without present in all but different from them. I just heal something, like with something tiny in my nerves. It's really cool. Kramanyatvam parinomanyatve hetuh. Ekasya tamino eka eva parinoma iti prasakte. Number 1. Prasakteha. Kramanyatvam. Is there another one? Parinoma niatve hetul pavatiti. Tadia time. Jul number the pin and the murder cutter. Jul number the pin and the murder. Jul number the pin and the. Jul number the pin and the murder cutter. Jul number the pin and the murder cutter murder kala. Murder kano. Murditi. Jul number the pin and the murder cutter murder kapala murder kano murditi. Jang gramaher. Kano. Yo yasian taimasian. Samananan taro taimahe san nasian gramahe. Penundahe pratyavate kata upajayata iti taimaparino makramahe. Lakushona parino makramo katasiana gata pava devaitamana pavahe. Pavakra gramahe. Katasiana gata pava devaitamana pavakrama pavakramahe pagrama pavakramahe. Katasiana gata pava devaitamana pavas. Katasiana gata pava devaitamana pavakramahe. Tatoy pinundasian vaitamana pava datita pavahe. Pavakra. Vaitamana pava datita pavakramahe. Nati tasyan sati gramahe. Kasamat pulva paratayam satyam samananantaratavam san tu nasatyati tasyan. Tasamad devayore lakushono yoho gramahe. Tatan vasata parino makramopi katasya pinavasya pranante puranotan turusyate san cha kushono param paranupatinam grameno pivya jamana param vyakatima padyatan iti. So yeah, whenever I'm making a mistake, that means somebody just, stomped on the floor. That's something that's sudden, but breaking my flow. Tamalak, I wonder what the implication of that in heaven is when judgment comes. How much are they gonna pay back to me? Because I'm this reading. It's if you mess with it, it's not just you who's gonna die. It's your entire the family line, the whole, you're done. You're out. Well, we'll see what God does. I'm staying nonviolent. I'm just gonna read this, and if I need to argue, then I'll argue. But yeah, God's gonna get rid of their entire family line, starting from the first. So make sure that they never appear on the earth. That's what happens when you mess with somebody reading Sanskrit. It might take some time to accomplish it for God. To cut off his whole family line. Make it disappear from the face of the earth. It takes time, but yeah. That's what these people are doing. These South Koreans are in trouble. These are South Koreans. They're really, really bad people. Taimalakushono pyam ja bishishurtoyam durtiyahu parinoma iti. I'm Korean. These are really bad Koreans. Have I met better Koreans? Yeah. ete grammar talmi pede sati pratilabhatasabaru bahe talmopi talmi pavatiania talmasabaru ba pekushayati yadan tu paramai tato talminuya pedo pachara setade dvareno talminuya pedo pachara talminuya pedo pachara setade dvareno. Number 1. 라드바레 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 라드바 달미누여 패도빠짜 라드바레 달미누여 패도빠짜 달미누여 패도빠짜 라드바레는 사 에바 비티야테 달마스타다 야메카트 베나이 달마스타다 야메카트 베나이바 그라마흐 브라티아바 파사테 제트타시야 드바예 달마흐 파리드르셔터 시장 파리드르셔터 시장 따트라 브라티아야 드마카흐 파리드르셔터 파스투마 드라트마카 아파리드르셔터 자 사프타이바 바바는 디아누마네나 브라피타바스 투마트라 사드 파바흐 니로타 탈마 삼스카라흐 파리너 모쿠타 파리너 모타 지바나무 제슈트 샤크티시짱 제트타시야 탈마 다이샤나 발지타흐 이티 The order of sequence is the reason for the order of the mutations. If it be possible that a single substance has only a single mutation, then the order of the sequence is the cause of the order of the mutation. One finds, for example, clay in the form of dust, clay in the form of a lump, clay in the form of a water jar, clay in the form of potsherds, clay in the form of small bits. It is in this sense that there is a sequence. Whenever one external aspect is immediately contiguous to another external aspect, it is sequenced with it. The lump of it falls away and the water jar comes into existence. It is in such cases that a sequence in the mutation of external aspects occurs. There is a sequence in the mutation of time variations. By reason of there being a future of the water jar, there is a sequence present. Likewise, by reason of there being a present of the lump, there is a sequence past. There is no sequence for the past. Why is this? When there is a relation of antecedent and sequent, there is an immediate contiguity. But this relation does not occur in the case of the past. Consequently, there is a sequence for two time variations only. There is nonetheless a sequence in the mutations of intensity, as when the oldness of a brand new water jar becomes evident first on its rim, and then manifesting itself in a sequence which conforms to the succession of moments, which is a complete phenomenon. This then is the third mutation, and it is other than the external aspect and the time variation. These same sequences become what they are, so long as the distinction between the substance and the external aspect holds. For the external aspect as such also can become the substance insofar as another external aspect is concerned. But since, strictly speaking, the same substance can be named the external aspect by virtue of attributing to it an identity with the substance, therefore, this sequence shines forth in consciousness as a unit only. The external aspects of the mind stuff are of two kinds, those that are perceived and those that are unperceived. Of these two, the perceived have as their essence presented ideas. Those that are unperceived have as their essence real things only. These latter are moreover just seven. By inference, the existence of real things only is brought within reach. Restriction and right living, and subliminal impressions, and mutations and vitality and movement and power are external aspects of mind stuff excluded from sight. Okay. 아또 여기나 우빠 뜻다 살바차 타나시야 무푸트 시땅 타프라티 파트타예 무푸트 시땅 타프라티 파트타예 무푸트 시땅 타프라티 파트타예 사미야마시야 비쇼야 우빠쿠슈이피아테 파리너 마트라야 사미야마다티 땅나가타 지냐나무 달마라쿠쇼너 바스타 파리너 메슈 사미야마 디오기남 파바티아티 땅나가타 지냐나무 타라노 티아나 사마 티트라야 타라너 티아나 사마 티트라 야메카트라 사미야마 우쿠타흐 테나 파리너 마트라얌 사쿠셔 드그리야마 너마티 타나 가타지냐남 테슈 삼파다야티. From here on, the field of operation for the constraint by the yogin who has acquired all the means for the attainment of the desired object is discussed. As a result of constraint upon the three mutations, the knowledge of the past and the future. Yogins acquire knowledge of the past and of the future as a result of constraint upon the mutations of external aspects and of time variations and of intensities. Fixed attention and contemplation and concentration, 3 in 1, has been called constraint. By this, the three mutations directly experienced produce knowledge of the past and of the future in these. Shabudang taparatiyayana mitaratarathya sat samkarastat praviphaga samyamat salva putaruta jinyanam. I gotta say, I did it okay. It wasn't perfect. Shabudang taparatiyayana mitaratarathya sat samkarastat praviphaga. Shabudang taparatiyayana mitaratarathya sat Shabudang tapratyayana mitaratarathya sat samkarastat praviphaga samyamat salva putaruta jinyanam. One more. Shabudang tapratyayana mitaratarathya sat samkarastat praviphaga samyamat salva putaruta jinyanam. Tatra Bhagavan Shiva Bhaitavati Bhagavan Shiva Bhaitavati Shrotaram Cha Tvani Parinoma Matara Vishayam Padam Punalnadanu Samhara Buddhatil Nigrahya Punalnadanu Samhara Buddhati Punalnadanu Samhara Buddhati Nikla Nil Punalnadanu Samhara Buddhati Nilgrahyamiti Valnom Ekasamaya Sampavit Bhat Parasapara Niranugrahat Manasate Valnom Ekasamaya Sampavit Bhat Parasapara Niranugrahat Manasate Padama Samsapurashya Nupasatha Pya Bilputa Satiro Puta Shichati Padama Samsapurashya Nupasatha Padama Samsapurashya Nupasatha Pya Bilputa Padama Samsapurashya Nupasatha Pya Bilputa Satiro Puta Shichati Pratyekama Pada Sivaru Uchianante Painoh Punare Kaikahu Padantaman Salvati Tara Shakati Prachitahu Sahakari Bainon Tara Pratiyogit Vada Vaishvaru Pyami Va Pananahu. Okay. Sahakari Bainon Tara Pratiyogit Vada Vaishvaru Pyami Va Pananahu. Pul Vashachotare no Pul Vashachotare no Tatasian Pul Vashachotare no Tatarashichan Pul Vashachotara Pul Vashachotara Ren Pul Vashachotara Reno Pul Vashachotara Reno Pul Vashachotara Pul Vashachotara Chotata. Okay, sorry. Pul Vashachotara no Pul Vashachotara no Tatashichan Pul Vashachotara no Tata not Pul Vashachotara no Tatashichan Tarashichan Pul Vashachotara Bul basher tot tare not tara shichan. Bul vena. Bishishwe basatan pitan. Itiebam. Havaho. Bahavo. 발너허. 그라만으로 티놀타. 그라만으로 티놀타 삼겠다나. 삼겠대나 바치치는 날. 그라만으로 누로 그라만으로 티놀 그라만으로 티놀타 그라만으로 티놀타 삼겠대나 바치치는 날 이야는 따 에때 살바 피타나 샤크티 파리불 살바 피타나 샤크티 파리불었다 까까라우까 라비 살자니야 까까라우까 라비 살자니 까까라우까 라비 살자니야흐 사무 사스나디 많은 따말탐 사스나디 많은 따말탐 디오따야는 띠띠 사스나디 많은 따말탐 디오따야는 띠띠 따데때 쇼 말타 삼겠대나 바치치는 나난 못봐 따데때 쇼 마타 따데때 쇼 말타 삼겠대나 바치치는 나나 못봐 삼허르따 트바니 그라마놈 따데때 쇼 말타 삼겠대나 바치치는 나나 못봐 삼허르따 트바니 그라마놈 따데때 쇼 말타 삼겠대나 바치치는 나나 못봐 삼허르따 트바니 그라마놈 야 에코 부드티 닐파 사 부드티 닐파 사스 따뜻 바담 마자감 바디아시야 삼케티아테 삼케티에따 삼케티아테 sorry 따데감 바다메카 부드티 비쇼야 야메카 따다메카 부드티 비쇼야메카 프라 바다메카 부드티 비쇼얌 바다메카 부드티 비쇼야메카 프라 야트나 뜨고 싶었다 마팡가 마크라 마마바이놈 오케이 바다메카 부드티 비쇼야메카 프라 야트나 구시프라 싶었다 바다메카 부드티 비쇼야메카 프라 야트나 구시프다 마파가 마크라 마마바이놈 오케이 바다메카 부드티 비쇼야메카 프라티야 바다메카 부드티 비쇼야메카 프라야트나 구슈프타 마파가 마크라 마마바이놈 원물 바다메카 부드티 비쇼야메카 프라야트나 구슈프타 마파가 마크라마 그라마마바이놈 바다메카 부드티 비쇼야메카 프라야트나 구슈프타 마파가 마크라마마바 그라마마바이놈 그라마마바이놈 바다메카 부드티 비쇼야메카 프라야트나 구시프타 팝 바다메카 부드티 비쇼야메카 프라야트나 구시프타 마파가 프람 바다메카 부드티 비쇼야메카 프라야트나 구시프타 마파가 마크라마마바이놈
I'm sorry. Oof. How long is this thing? It's the longest sutra on the explanation. Okay.
바다메카 부드티 비쇼야메카 프라야트나 구시프타 마파가 마크라마마바이놈 에카 프라야트나 구시프타 마파가 마 에카 프라야트나 구시프타 마파가 마크라마마바이놈 바다메카 부드티 비쇼야메카 프라야트나 구시프타 마파가 마크라마마바이놈 예. 마우드타마는 띠아 발너 프라티아야 비앙 바로 바스타 피탐 파라트라 프라티파파다 유쇼양 발너이레바 피티야마나이흐
Number 1.
나이르 쯔짜야마나이 발너이레바 피티야 발너이레바 피티야 발너이레바 비티 발너이레바 비티 야마나이루 발너이레바 비티 야마나이 발너이레바 비티 발너이레바 비티 야마나이루 발너이레바 비티 발너이레바 비티 야마나이루 나이루 쭈짱리 야마나이 마노이허. Very hard words, very hard. 발너이레바 비티 야마 발너이레바 비티 발너이레바 비티 야마나이루 쭈짱리 야마노이허. 슈로 야마노이 슈짱 슈로뜨르 피라나 디바그 비아바하라바사나 누비드 타양 로카부드 티양 시드타바트 삼뿌라티 바트 티양 프라티야테 타시양 삼케타부드 티타흐 프라비파가 에타바타 메밤 자티야코 누 삼하라 에타바타 메밤 자티 야코누 삼하라 에카시앙 타시앙. Number 2. 에타시앙 타시앙 방자칸 이티 에타시앙 방자칸 이티 삼케타스투 파라파다 타요리타 레타 라티아 사루파흐 파다파다 타요리 타레타 라티아 사루파흐 스무르티아 드미코 요얌 샤브다흐 소야말토 요야말타흐 소얌 샤브당 이티 스무르티아 드마코 요얌 샤브다흐 소야말토 요야말타흐 소얌 샤브당 이티 에바미타레타라 티아 사루바흐 삼케토 파바티티 에바메테 샤브당 타프라티아양 이타레타라 티아 사드 삼킬노 이타레타라 티아 사드 삼킬노 따디아 텅에 가우리티 샤부도 가우리티 알토 가우리티 지냐나무 야 엘폼 브라비파가 지냐흐 사 살바비트 살바파데슈 장스티 바기야 샤크틸 보르코쇼 바기야 샤크틸 보르코쇼 이티오쿠타스티티 가미아테 나 사트탐 바달토 비아 피자라티티 타톤 나 야사타나 그리야스티티 타톤아짱. Number 2. 바자 타톤 바자티티오쿠테 살바카라카노 마쿠 슈에포 살바카라카노 마쿠 슈에포 니아말 토누바다흐 깔트르토 까라노 깔마놈 자이트라그니 따는두 자이트라그니 따는둘라나 미티 자이트라그니 따는둘라나 자이트라그니 따는둘라나 미티 Turushottam cha Bhagyate Padarachanam. Number 1. Dabacha Dabacha Padapachat Dabacha Daba Padabachanam. Shrotriyach Chanando Tite Jivati Prananantarayati Tatra Bhagye Padapadalta Pivyagatistataha Padalta Pivyagatistataha Padam Prabhipajya Vyakaranuyam Kriyabhachakam Karakabhachakam Anyatha Bhavatyash Jojapayam Bhavatyash Bojapayam Ityevamadishu Nama Khyata Sarupya Daniljiñatam Nama Khyata Sarupya Daniljiñatam Katham Kriyayam Karake Vyakriyatati Teshvam Shabudanta Pratyayanam Prabhipagah Tadiyatan Shivatate Prasada Iti Kriyatah Shivatah Prasada Iti Karakatah Shabudah Kriyakarakatamai Tadaitah Pratyayashuchan Kasmat Soyamitya Pisambanan Ta Soyamitya Pisambanan Ta Dekaka Soyamitya Pisambanan Ta Dekakara Eva Pratyayah Samketa Iti Yasutu Shivetoltah San Shabuda Pratyayayora Lamambani Putah Shabuda Pratyayayora Lamambani Putah Sa Hi Siva Pirabasata Pilbikriya Siva Pirabasata Pilbikriya Siva Pirabasata Pilbikriya Mano Na Shabuda Sahagato Na Buddhati Sahagatah Evam Shabuda Evam Pratyayo Netaretara Sahagata Itianyatoi Shabudoniatai Toniatai Pratyayan Iti Vipagah Evam Tatupravipaga Samyama Dioginah Tatupravipaga Samyama Dioginah Salvaputa Rutajinyanam Sampadyata Iti. Word and intended object and presented idea are confused because they are erroneously identified with each other. By constraint upon the distinctions between them, knowledge of the cries of all living beings. With regard to these, voice has its function only the syllables, and the organ of hearing has as its object only that which has been mutated into a sound. But it is a mental process that grasps the word by seizing the letter sounds each in turn and binding them together. Sounds of syllables do not naturally aid each other, for they cannot coexist at the same time. Not having attained to the unity of a word and not having, they become audible and they become inaudible. Hence it is said that individually they lack the nature of a word. On the other hand, the syllables one by one may be said to have the essence of a word as being filled with the power to furnish expressions for everything through their association with other syllables which also cooperate. And so they seem to pass into a multiplicity of forms. A preceding thing is mentally determined by the following, and the following by the preceding to become a distinct and separate word. Thus, a group of syllables follows in a sequence and is assigned by conventional usage to an intended object. Hence, though competent to indicate a great number of things, a certain number of these, whatever that number may be, makes the object clear. For example, GOH, gohe, indicate thing with its dewlap and other specific features. Hence, the unity which the mental process makes known out of these, determined as these are by conventional usage, by a single intended object, and seized and bound together into a fixed sequence of sounds, is the word. This unity of word is in every case the object of a single mental process, and requires a single effort. It is the thing not having parts, and not having a sequence. It does not consist of syllables. It is a thing of the mind, and is brought into its function by means of the presented idea of the final syllable sound. If a man wish to convey information to another, he must express himself by these same syllable sounds to which the others must listen. This use of speech to which no beginning permeates the thinking substance of the ordinary man with subconscious impressions. Thus, as a result of common understanding, it is thought to be something real in itself. It is owing to our knowing what this means in accordance with conventional usage that we attempt to divide it. Thus we say that the seizing in turn and binding together of this or that number of the syllables in some such kind is a word expressive of a single intended object. But conventional usage is essentially by the memory. It is a kind of erroneous identification of the word and the thing signified, so that there is a confusion of the word with the intended object and not the intended object with the word. Here we see how conventional usage is a kind of erroneous identification of each with the other based upon memory. Thus it is that these, the word cow and the intended object cow and the presented idea cow, get confused because erroneously identified with one another. But he who recognizes these three as quite distinct is the knower of all. Furthermore, every word has the power to express a sentence. Thus when we utter the word tree, we imply that it exists. For no intended object of a word can lack existence. Similarly, no action expressed is possible without the means of it attaining. And so when we utter the word cooks, certain relations which are later expressly mentioned are supplied to specify the meaning. Thus we mention the man 짜 있더라 as the agent, rice as the object, and fire as the means of the action. We observe also that words are so constructed as to give the meaning of the sentence. Thus a reader is one who recites Vedas. Thus if we say lives, we mean he keeps the breath of life. In this sentence, there is a manifestation of the meaning of words. But to determine whether a particular word denotes an action or some relation, and analyze its formation by making distinctions. Without such an analysis, without it, many a word such as pavati or ashivahu or ajapayahu will remain ambiguous because as regards its outer form, it might be analyzed either as a noun or as a verb. There is a distinction between these words and intended objects and presented ideas. To illustrate this, the palace whitens. Here the action is meant. The white palace. Here a relation is meant. The word is in essence both an action and a relation, and the termination conveys these meanings of it. But why is this so? Because this is identified with that, so that in conventional usage the presented idea is one and the same. But the white intended object is that which becomes a thing upon which the word and the presented idea depend. For this, by reason of its own intensities, passes through evolved forms and does not correspond to the word nor to the mental process. Similarly, the word and similarly the presented idea do not correspond the one with the other. The word is in one way, the intended object in another way, and the presented idea in another way. Thus there is a distinction, and so it happens that by constraint upon this distinction, a yogin attains the knowledge of the cries of all creatures. The knowledge of Christ. Alright, I should do Bhagavad Gita, I think. Today's study is okay, it's not great. I'm almost through half the book, so that's day 2. Alright, I'm gonna keep going, finish Bhagavad Gita and call it a day. Okay, now what chapter was it? 18. So I'm gonna start from 18 tomorrow. And now it's Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5. I think chapter 5 is like 30 something verses long. (29 verses). Pretty short. So yeah, I'm gonna be done in time. Namaste. Atha panchamuthyayaha samnya sayogaha Arjuna uvacha samnya sam kalmanam gurushuna munari yogam cha shamsasi yachichreya etayorekam taname puruhi sunishichitam Shri Bhagavan uvacha samnya saha kalma yogashicha nihoshreya sakara bupao tayosutu kalma samnya sat kalma yogo Vishishyote Jinyayaha sa nitya samnya si yo na tevashtui na gang gushati Nildevanandavo hi mahabaho sukham vanantat pramutyate Sangang kia yogao Bodhakabala Parapadananti na pananduitang Ekamapia setitaha samyagu payol비는 datte palama Yatasangang kiai ha prapyate satanam dadiogairapi kamyate Ekam sangang kiam cha yogam cha yaha pashyati sa pashyati Samnya sasutu mahabaho tuhakama putu mayogataha yoga yogoto munil brahma nachirena tikacha chatti yoga yogoto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitenandriyaha salva putatma Gulbanan napi na lipiate Naiva Kenchit karomiti yukuto Manieta tatetavapit Pasyan shiranan banan sapura shannan Pasyan shiranan banan sapura shanjikranan nashinanan gachachanan sabapan shivasanan Pasyan shiranan banan sapura Pasyan shiranan banan sapura shanjikranan nashinanan gachachanan sabapan shivasanan Pasyan shiranan banan sapura shanjikran Pasyan shiranan banan sapura shanjikranan nashinanan gachachanan sabapan shivasanan Pasyan shiranan banan sapura shanjikranan nashinanan gachachanan sabapan shivasanan Pralapanan bisurajanan guruhunanan numishanan napi Pralapanan bisurajanan guruhunanan nunami Pralapanan bisurajanan nu Pralapanan bisurajanan guruhunanan nunami Pralapanan bisurajanan guruhunanan nunami Pralapanan bisurajanan nun Pralapanan bisurajanan guru Pralapanan bisurajanan guruhunanan nunamishanan napi. One more. Pralapanan bisurajanan guruhunanan nunamishanan nimi Pralapanan bisurajanan guruhunanan Pralapanan bisurajanan guruhunanan nunamishanan Pralapanan bisurajanan guruhunanan nunamishanan nimishanan napi Inandriya nuinandriya teshu 발단은 땅 이티 타라야는 브라흐마 누여 다야 깔마 누이 상응감 디아크트발 까로티 야흐 리피아테 나 사파 페나 바드마 바트라 미밤은 파사알 바드마 바트라 미밤은 바드마 바트라 미밤은 파사알 까예나 와나사알 무드티앙알 깨발라 이리는 드리야 이라삐 요기나흐 깔마 꿀바는 띠 상응감 디아크드바 드마슈드 타예 요그다흐 깔마 팔람 디아크드바 샤는 디마 브노티 나이시 트위김 아요그다흐 까마카레너 팔레 사크토 니바티아테 살바 깔마 누이 마나살 삼미아시아스테 수캄 바시 나바드바레 보레 데히 나이바 꿀바는 나 까라야는 나 깔뜨르뜨밤 나 깔마누이 로카시아 스르자티 프라푸흐 나 깔마 팔라사미오감 스바파바스투 프라발타테 나 다트테 가시아치트 팜팜 나 짜이바 수크르탐 비푸흐 아지냐네 나 버르탐 지냐남 때나 무히하는 띠 자는 따바흐 무히하는 띠 자는 따바흐 지냐네 나투 따다 지냐남 여쇼음 나시타마트마나흐 드셔마 디티아바지 지냐남 프라강 샤야티 따트파람 다드 부드 타야 스타다 드마나 스타는 니슈터 스타트 파라야너흐 까츠차는 띠아뿐아라 버르드팀 지냐나넬두 지냐나닐두 따까를 마셔흐 비디야 비나야 삼은 빠는네 브라흐마노에 가비 하스티니 슈니 짜이바 시바파케 짜 빠는두이땅흐 사마달시나흐 이하이바 달지타흐 살고 예쇼음 사미에 스티탐 마나흐 닐도샴 히 사맘 브라흐마 따스마드 브라흐마누이 때 스티땅아흐 나 브라흐루 슈여트 프리얌 프라피야 노드비제트 프라피야 자 프리얌 스티라 부드티라 사무무 두어 브라흐마 비드 브라흐마누이 스티타흐 바히아스 발셰스바 사크땅아트마 비는다티아트마니 야트수카마 사 브라흐마 요가 유크땅아트마 수카마쿠셔야 마슈누테 예히 38샤장 포강 두하카요나야 에바테 디아는 따바는 따흐 가우는 때야 나 때슈 라마테 무타흐 샤크노티 하이바 야흐 소툼 브라크샤리라 비모코쇼노트 까마쿠로 토드 파밤 베감 사 유크타흐 사 수키 나라흐 요는 따흐 수코는 따라라 마스타는 딸지오 띠레바 요는 따흐 수코는 따라라 마스타 마스타탕 요는 따흐 수코는 따라라 마스타타는 딸지오 띠레바 야흐 자 여기 브라흐마 닐바남 브라흐마 부토티카츠 차띠 라파는 때 브라흐마 닐바나 모로샤야 브라흐마 닐바나 모로샤야흐 구쇼이너 까르마쇼흐 지는나드바이탕 야따트마나흐 살바 부타히테 라따흐 까마꾸로타비우크따남 야띠남 야따ចេ타삼 Apito Brahma Nirvanam Paitate Vidita Manam Supashanan Kurutavang Pahilba Hiam Chichaku Shushachai Pahilba Hiam Chichaku Shushachai Van and Tare Pahilba Hiam Chichaku Shushachai Van and Tare Provo Prano Panao Samao Kurutavang Nasa Pianan Taracharino Yatanandriya 야떼는들이야 마노 부드틀분 야떼는들이야 마노 부드틀문을 먹고 셔빠라 야너흐 비가떼츠 창 파야꾸로토 야흐 서당에 무크따 에바 사흐 보크따람 야지냐 따빠삼 살발로까마 헤시바람 수호르담 살바푸따남 지냐트반 맘 샤는 띠무르츠 차띠 타트사디티 श्रीमद् भगवद गीता सुपनिषत्सु ब्रह्म विद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्री कृष्णार्जुन संवादे संन्यासयोगो नाम पंचमोऽध्यायः Namaste. Arjuna said, Thou applaudest, O Krishna, the abandonment of actions and again the application. Tell me definitely which one of these two is superior. The Holy One said, both abandonment of actions and application to actions lead to emancipation, but of these application to actions is superior to abandonment. He should always be known to be an ascetic who hath no aversion nor desire. For being free from pairs of opposites, O thou of mighty arms, he is easily released from the bonds. Fools say, but not those that are wise, that Sankhya and Yoga are distinct. One who saith in even one reapeth the fruit of both. Whatever seed is attained by those that profess the Sankhya system, that too is reached by those that profess the Yoga. He seeth truly who seeth Sankhya and Yoga as one. But renunciation, O mighty am the One, without devotion is difficult to attain. The ascetic who is engaged in devotion reacheth the Supreme Being without delay. He who is engaged in devotion and is of pure soul, who hath conquered his body and subdued his senses, and who identifieth himself with all creatures, is not bettered though performing. The man of devotion who knoweth the truth thinketh, I am doing nothing, when seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving, sleeping, breathing, talking, excreting, taking, opening the eyelids or closing them. He regardeth that it is the senses that are engaged in the objects of sense. He who, renouncing attachment, engageth in actions, resigning them to Brahma, is not touched by sin as the lotus leaf by water. They that are devotees, casting off attachment, perform actions for purity of self, with the body, the mind, the understanding, and even the senses. He that is possessed of devotion, renouncing the fruit of action, attaineth to the highest tranquility. He that is not possessed of devotion and is attached to the fruit of action is bettered by action performed from desire. The self-restrained embodied, renouncing all actions by the mind, remains at ease within the house of 9 gates, neither acting himself nor causing to act. The Lord is not the cause of the capacity for action, or of the actions of men, or of the connection of actions and the fruit. It is nature that engages. The Lord receiveth no one's sin, nor also merit. I gotta text again. By ignorance knowledge is shrouded. It is for this that creatures are deluded. But of whomsoever that ignorance hath been destroyed by knowledge of self, that knowledge, like the sun, discloseth the Supreme Being. Those whose mind is on him, whose very soul is he, who abide in him, and who have him for their goal, depart nevermore to return, their sins being all destroyed by knowledge. I hope you guys could tell the difference between before I get attacked and after I get attacked. I'm not myself, basically. Because, you know, like when you're attacked by somebody who's lower than you, like whose IQ is like 75 and you have an IQ of 140, when you get attacked by an IQ 70, your IQ is gonna go down to match his. That's why, you know, after I get attacked, it's hard for me to read, you know. But yeah, criminals don't have high IQs. An average criminal has an IQ of 75. So they that are wise cast an equal eye on a Brahmano and deal with learning and modesty on a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a chandala. even here has birth been conquered by them whose minds rest on equality, and since Brahma is faultless and equable, therefore they abide in Brahma. He whose mind is steady, who is not deluded, who knows Brahma, and who rests in Brahma, doth not exalt on obtaining anything that is agreeable, nor doth he grieve on obtaining anything that is disagreeable. He whose mind is not attached to external objects of sense obtaineth that happiness which is in self, and by concentrating his mind on the contemplation of Brahma, he enjoyeth the happiness that is imperishable. The enjoyments born of the contact are productive of sorrow. He that is wise, O son of Kunti, never taketh pleasure in these that have a beginning and an end. That man who even here, before the dissolution of the body, is able to endure the agitations resulting from desire and wrath, is fixed on contemplation and is happy. He who findeth happiness within himself, who sporteth within himself, whose light is derived from within himself, is a devotee, and becoming one with Brahma, attaineth to absorption into Brahma. Those saintly personages whose sins have been destroyed, whose doubts have been dispelled, who are self-restrained, and who are engaged in the good of all creatures, obtain absorption into Brahma. For those devotees who have been free from desire and wrath, whose minds are under control, and who have knowledge of self, absorption into Brahma exists both here and hereafter. Excluding all external objects of sense, directing the visual glance between the brows, mingling the upward and the downward like breaths and making them pass through the nostrils. The devotee who has restrained the senses, the mind, and the understanding, being intent on emancipation, and who is free from desire, fear, and wrath, is emancipated indeed. Knowing me to be the enjoyer of all sacrifices and ascetic austerities, the great Lord of all the worlds, and the friend of all creatures, such a one obtaineth tranquility. Thank you very you know what? I'm gonna do maybe one more sutra. I like the sutras. Okay, so that's Bhagavad Gita. I'm gonna go back to the sutra. Oh, and today's chanting is gonna be crazy. I think somebody's gonna suffer greatly, and it's not gonna be me who suffers. Okay, 18 is long, huh? Alright, I'm gonna do this and then call it a day, because I didn't do 2 hours quite yet, because yeah, right. Namaste. Samsikara sakusha tukara tupul. Samsikara sakusha tukara tupul baja. Samsikara sakusha tukara tupul baja tijinya nama. Devaye karelvami samsikara smurti klesha hetabo. Pasana rupa vipaka hetabo talma rupa te pulva phava pi samsakar pulva phava pi samsakar ta parinama chashita nirotha shakati jiva na talma bada pari durishita shachita talma parinama chashita nirotha shakati jivana talma parinama chashita nirotha shakati jivana talma badapari durishita shachita talma parinama chashita nirotha shakati jivana talma badapari durishita shachita talma Parinama chashita nirotha shakati jivana talma badapari durishita shachita Parinama chashita nirotha shakati ji Parinama chashita nirotha shakati jivana talma badapari Parinama chashita nirotha shakati jivana talma badapari Parinama chashita nirotha shakati jivana talma Parinama chashita nirotha shakati jivana talma badapari Parinama chashita nirotha shakati jivana talma badapari durishita shachita talma Teshu samyamaha Samsikara sakusha tukariyayi Samsikara sakusha tukariyayi samaltaha na cha deshakala limitata nupavai vina De chacun la limite dans nos travail vinay. De chacun la limite dans nos travail vinay. De che masati sa kusha de karanam. Tadit tam. Samskara sa kusha de karana de pulvaja tijinyana mutu padiate. Yogina he. Paratra pieva meva. Paratra pieva meva. Samskara sa kusha de karana de parajati sambedanam. Samskara sa kusha de karana de parajati sambedanam. Atradama kyanam shruyate. Bhagavato jaigi shaviyasyam. Samskara sa kusha de karana de dashatsu. Samskara sa tisho. Samskara sa kusha de karana de dashasu. Samskara sa kusha de karana de dashasu. Maha salgeshu. Janama parino makra mamanu pasyato. Janama parino makra mamanu pasyato. Vivekajam jinyanam pradura put. Atan Bhagavana batuya bas. Bhagavana batuya sitanu tarasitan muvancham. Bhagavana batuya sitanu tarasitan muvancham. Dashasu maha salgeshu. 한번더 들을게요. 아탄 Bhagavana batuya sitanu tarasitan mu. Bhagavana batuya sitanu tarasitan muvancham. Dashasu maha salgeshu. Bhaviyat vandana pipu. Bhaviyat vandana pipu. Tabuddhi satettvena devayan. Narakatiriyak 갈 파삼파밤. 나라카티리야그 갈 파삼파밤. 두헉함 삼파시아땅. Devamanushuyeshu punaruttapadiyamanena sukatuhakayoha gimatika mupalabtamiti Bhagavanan Batuyam Jaigi Shavya Uvancham. Dashasu maha salgeshu. Bhaviyat vandana pipu tabuddhi satettvena. Bhaviyat vandana pipu. Bhaviyat vandana pipu tabuddhi satettvena. Vayan narakatiriyaga bhavam tuhakam sampashyatan. Devamanushuyeshu punaruttapadiyamanena yatkimchidanu putam tatsaivam tuhakamevan pratyavaimi. Bhagavana batuya uvancham. Yadidama yushimataha prathana vashitva manuttatamam. Jan samtoshasukam kimidamapi tuhakapakushwe nikushoipitamiti. Bhagavan jaigi shavya uvancham. Vishayasukam pekushya vedamanuttatamam. Samtoshasukam mukutam. Kaivalya sukha pekushoyan. Vishaya sukha pekushoyan vedamanuttatamam. Samtosha sukha mukutam. Kaivalya sukha pekushoyan. Number 1. Valyanpe. Kaivalya pekushoyan. Tuhakamevan. Buddhi satetvasyayam. Kalmasatri gunoshijan. Pratyayo heyapakushwe nyasatan iti. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두허. Number 2. 따는 두드르셔들 타. 따는 두드르셔들 타. 따는 두드르셔들 타. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 딴. 따는 두드르셔들 타 삼다. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 타. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두드르셔들 타 삼다빠. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너는 따는. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두드르셔들 타 삼다 빠가마 뚜뚜. 6 more words to go. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두허. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두드르셔들 타. 따는 두드르셔들 타. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두학하루 바스뜨르시너. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 딴. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두드르셔들. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두드르셔들 타 삼바. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너는 따는. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두드르셔들 타 삼다 빠가마 뚜뚜. 두르시너. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두드르셔들 타. 두학하루 바스뜨르시너 따는 두드르셔들 타 삼다 빠가마 뚜뚜. 두르시너. 두학하 삼다 빠가마 뚜뚜. 브라사는 나마 바탐 살바 누구람 수카미다 무쿠타미티. Okay. As a result of direct perception of subliminal impressions, there is knowledge of previous births. Those subliminal impressions are of course of two kinds: the causes of memory and of the hindrances in the form of subconscious impressions. The causes of fruition in the form of right living and wrong living. These subliminal impressions formed in previous births are, like mutation and movement and restriction and power and vitality and right living, unperceived external aspects of mind stuff. Constraint upon these is sufficient for direct perception of subliminal impressions. Moreover, there is no direct experience of these unless there be experience of place and time and cause. It is thus, therefore, as a result of knowledge of subliminal impressions that the knowledge of previous births arises, of the yogin. Precisely as in other cases, there is also, as a result of the direct perception of subliminal impressions, a consciousness of the births of others. On this point, this tale is handed down to the exalted Jaigi Shobya, who as a result of direct perception of subliminal impressions beheld the sequence of his birth mutations in 10 great creative periods. The knowledge born of this culmination became visible. Then to him spake the exalted Abhatuya, who had assumed the body. In 10 great creative periods, for as much as the sattva of the thinking substance is unsuppressed in consequence of spotlessness, thou beholdest the pain caused by birth in hells and in the bodies of brutes, coming into existence over and over again among gods and human beings, which hast thou apperceived to be more pleasure or pain? Jaidishavya spake to the exalted Avatuya, in the 10 created periods, for as much as the sattva of the thinking substance is unsuppressed in consequence of spotlessness, behold the pain caused by birth in hells and in the bodies of roots, coming into existence over and over again among gods and human beings, this I troll. Whatever I have passed through, all this is nothing but pain. The exalted Avatuya spake thus, are your worship's mastery over the primary cause and the pleasure of bliss ineffable? Are these also to be counted as pain? The exalted Jaidishavya spake, this can be called the pleasure of bliss ineffable only in comparison with pleasure from objects of sense, but it is nothing but pain in comparison with isolation, because this is an external aspect of the sattva of the thinking substance and has the 3 aspects, and because a presented idea of anything having the 3 aspects is counted as something to be thrown aside, the thread of desire is of the nature of pain. But by the removal of the anguish of the pain of desire, this pleasure is undisturbed calm, uninhibited, favorable in the eyes of all. Alright, I'm gonna do one more because it's Pratyayasya Parichittitajiñānam Pratyaya Samyamat Pratyayasya Sakushat Karanat Tatah Parichittitajiñānam. Upon a presented idea, knowledge of the mind stuff of another. As a result of constraint upon a presented idea, in consequence of the direct perception of the presented idea, there arises the knowledge of the mind stuff of another. Na cha sala sa lamambanam tat sa lamambanam tasya vishayi bhutattvat rakatam pratyayam janati amoshimina lamambane rakatamiti na janati parapratyayasya yada lamambanam tadyogi chitatena na lamambani karatam na lamambani karatam parapratyaya mataram tu yogi chittatasya lamambani bhutamiti. But it does not have that together with that upon which it depends, since that upon which it depends is not in the field. The yogin knows that the presented idea is affected, but he does not know that it is affected in dependence upon that. When the presented idea of another is independent upon something, this does not become something upon which the mind stuff the yogin depends, but it is the other's presented idea only upon which the yogin's mind stuff comes to depend. Maybe I'll do one more because this is about indiscernibility. They can't see you. After I read this, nobody could see me. Okay, here we go. Kaya rupa samyama tadad grahya. Kaya rupa samyama tadad grahya shakti satamampe. Chakushushipra prakasha samprayogenan talthanam. Chakushushipra prakasha samprayogenan talthanam. Chakushushipra prakasha samprayogenan talthanam. Samyo. Okay. Chakushushi prakasha samyogenan talthanam. Kayasya rupe samyamad rupasya yan grahya shakti satam pratishita prati. Grahya shakti satamampe sati chakushushi prakasha samprayogenan talthana mutupadyate. Chakushushi prakasha samprayogenan talthana mutupadyate. Number 3. Chakushushi prakasha samprayogenan talthana mutupadyate. 자꾸 슈슈프라카샤 삼빠라 요게는 딸타남 자꾸 슈슈프라카샤 삼빠라 요게는 딸타나 무뜨 자꾸 슈슈프라카샤 삼빠라 요게는 딸타 자꾸 슈슈프라카샤 삼빠라 요게는 딸타나 무뜨 바디아트 자꾸 슈슈프라카샤 삼빠라 요게는 딸타나 무뜨 자꾸 슈슈프라카샤 삼빠라 요게는 딸 자꾸 슈슈프라카샤 삼빠라 요게는 딸타나 무뜨 바디아트 요기나흐 Number 3 325 자꾸 슈슈프라카샤 325개는 딸타나 무뜨 자꾸 슈슈프라카샤 32 자꾸 슈슈프라카샤 자꾸 슈슈프라카샤 325개는 딸 자꾸 슈슈프라카샤 325개는 딸타나 무뜨 바디아트 자꾸 슈슈프라카샤 325개는 딸타나 무뜨 바디아트 요기나흐 에테나 샤부다디아는 딸타나 무크담 베디타비아무 에테나 샤부다디아는 딸타나 무크담 베디타비아무 Okay, that's the end for reading Sanskrit for the day. As a result of constraint upon the form of the body, when its power to be known is stopped, then as a consequence of the distinction of the light and of the eye, there follows indiscernibility. As a result of constraint upon the form of the body, he inhibits that power by which it is known. When its power to be known is stopped as a consequence of the disjunction of the light and of the eye, indiscernibility of the yogin is produced. In this way, it must be understood that indiscernibility to sound and to other objects of sense has also been described. Yay! Okay, thank you very much. So tomorrow I'm gonna start from 22. I did a lot. So I'm finished with half the book. What did I do? Okay. I'm gonna start chanting pretty soon. Less than half an hour. I wanna get things done. I just wanna get things done. Thank you. Namaste.